I recently saw the movie Obsession and I was blown away by the depiction of how an obsessed person behaves in a relationship, and it brought back some memories because I have tried the whole obsession thing and it did happen to me. And I was blown away because unlike the movie where they show it's magic, what I did is scientifically proven, psychologically proven, and it is something so proven that I have developed my high value love identity program through which I have helped 700 plus people attract their desired relationship into their life just by getting inside their subconscious mind and doing this whole spell thing. Now it works like magic, but I would never ever recommend anyone to make someone obsessed with you because I'm going to share what happened with me and it's going to creep you out. Now to begin my story, I would like you to understand that I had a really bad breakup. You know, the sort of a breakup where you go like, I am not worthy enough. I just feel miserable about who I am. I wish I could have that person, but I just can't have that person. So I was going through all these emotions. Now, during that time, I realized that I had a pattern of attracting people into my life who were emotionally unavailable, or they would downright treat me like I'm not good enough. So I established that I had a pattern. So I started studying human psychology, relationship psychology to understand why does it keep happening to me again and again, because it sounds like I'm cursed. And I started studying hypnotherapy. Now, during this phase, I was studying how human subconscious mind works and how patterns are established and how each of the pattern is based upon our childhood conditioning, and if we were subject to neglect, abandonment, that's what we carry in our adult life relationship. And as an instant healing hypnotherapist, I learned and discovered that we always feel attracted or we attract people into our life based upon what feeling we are familiar with or whatever feeling we can resonate with. So that means if you have been feeling abandoned throughout your childhood, you would carry that familiarity into your adult life relationship. That means you will keep attracting relationships that will make you feel abandoned again and again. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, you know what? If we feel abandoned deep inside, and that's what we attract. So that means we always attract what we feel inside. And I have been feeling abandoned all my life. So I keep attracting people who abandon me eventually and I feel miserable. And that feeling of abandonment takes over my entire subconscious mind and my reality. But as an instant healing hypnotherapist, I realized that I can get inside my subconscious mind and change this feeling, because as an instant healing hypnotherapist, we are trained to get inside our subconscious mind, remove a particular pattern or a feeling, or change our neurological state or emotional state. And whatever emotional state that we consistently hold on to is what we attract in our reality. Now, that is just for you guys to understand what I was studying at that particular time. Now, I was abandoned throughout all the relationships that I had up until then. So I was like, you know what? It would be nice to have someone in my life who is downright obsessed with me. Now, any one of you who has been through cycles of abandonment, neglect, or has fear of rejection can relate to whatever I'm talking about, right? Because it would feel nice that you have been on one extreme end in relationship where you feel abandoned, neglected, or downright rejected. It would feel nice to be on the other extreme end, which is someone is downright obsessed with you. They just want more and more of you. That's exactly what I thought too. But let me tell you what I did. So, as an instant healing hypnotherapist, I got inside my subconscious mind and I was like, you know what? I would love to have someone who is downright obsessed with me. So if I can feel self-obsessed more and more over a period of time, I would end up attracting someone who's downright obsessed with me. So guess what I did? I went inside my subconscious mind and I changed my subconscious settings or emotional baseline. That is our predominant neurological state, by making myself self-obsessed in less than 2 to 3 minutes, because that's how fast instant healing hypnosis works. Now, for those of you who would be like, that doesn't sound like something that can happen, I would highly recommend to you guys to try out my instant heartbreak healing mastery course. It's a 90-minute course where I teach you how your subconscious mind works and how you can remove any kind of heartbreak or a negative emotional state from your subconscious mind in less than 2 to 3 minutes. And there is a hypnosis included in this course. It's absolutely free. Go try it out and you are going to realize what I'm talking about. It actually works. Now, I made myself self-obsessed. Lo and behold, after a while, I ended up attracting this particular person into my life, and she started showing a lot of interest in me, and I started feeling good. So we got inside a relationship. For week 1, I would say that whole lacking of self-worth that I experienced in my previous relationship was being satisfied, because now this person was downright obsessed with me. They wanted more and more of me. They would express their love for me more and more, and I was loving it. Not gonna lie, I was loving it. I was enjoying it. But sooner than later, I started observing certain things that started making me feel very uncomfortable in this relationship. Now, as a hypnotherapist, I can read people's subconscious mind. So I started observing that she just wanted more and more of me, to the point where she didn't want to share me with anyone. Trust me, guys, it became so bad. She didn't like the fact that I would hang around with my friends on the weekends. And she didn't like that. She would start a fight with me anytime I would say like, hey, I would be going out with my friends on the weekend, and she would be like, okay. And I thought it's okay. I would go out with my friend, I would come back, and she would ask me all these questions like, hey, how did your day go? And I thought she was genuinely interested in how my day went, and I would start sharing like, we had a lot of fun, we did this, we did that. And in between the call, she would drop the call, and I would be like, what just happened? Maybe it's the bad network. And I would call her back and she wouldn't answer till the next day. And I would be like, what just happened? And then there would be a big fight. So to go out with my friend, it's quite funny. I knew that she's quite smart. She can sense if I want to hang around with my friend. And whenever my friends made up any kind of plan for the weekend, what I would do is, I know that I cannot just disappear on the weekends, and she wouldn't accept that. So in the middle of the week, on Wednesdays, while I'm talking to her, I would go like, hey, I have some itch in my throat. That's how I would start it off. On Thursday, I would be like, hey, it's hard for me to speak. There's something bad happening in my throat. On Friday, I would have a full-blown fever, and I would be like, hey, I think I need some rest and I need to sleep. And she would be like, okay. And at that time, I would stay with my friend, have a good time. And on Saturday or maybe on Sunday, I would be like, hey, now I'm feeling much better. That's how I had to escape from this relationship, to have some time with my friend. So it was bad. And then at this one particular occasion, I went to this conference, and it was a tech conference, and my mentor invited me and I went with her. I had a +1. I took her. Bad decision, I swear. I took her, and my mentor, he was introducing me to his assistant, who happens to be a woman. And he said, need axe. And his assistant shook my hand. And remember, my ex was standing right beside me. So she shook my hand. I shook her hand. I was like, that's pretty normal, standard. I mean, to me, it is. And we had a conversation, and my mentor was like, how about you explain your project to my assistant so that she's up to speed? And I was explaining to her. We had a big fight after that, and she was like, why did you shake her hand? I was like, well, she placed her hand right in front of me. Wouldn't it be rude if I didn't? And she would be like, you are trying to get laid, maybe. And that was so horrible for me. I was like, it's just a handshake. And the fight went on for so long, and she expected me that if any other woman would try to shake my hand, I should punch her in the face. I mean, trust me, I agreed with her. at the end of the day because I had to end the fight. It became so horribly wrong because every time we had an argument, now, I am the sort of a person who doesn't like to argue. As a hypnotherapist, I know someone is in a bad mood. So it's best not to engage with them in an argument and just agree to whatever they are saying. But however, no matter what I did, she just kept getting mad at me to the point she would start coming right at my face and try to hit me. It was quite abusive, and I realized I just want out of it. So I would wait for the fights to happen so that I could gather up the guts to let her know that this is not working out and we should maybe end the relationship. But every time I said it, it became even worse. She became more abusive, and she would start threatening me that she would go to other people and ruin my life and blah, blah, blah. It was a nightmare to the point where I realized that if I break up with her, she's going to completely ruin my life or threaten my own safety. Now, I am a 6'1" guy. I'm quite tall. She wasn't. And people were just laughing at me like, you're afraid of a woman who's not even as tall as you and she's just tiny, and what are you doing? And I couldn't explain to people that how terrifying it is, because she would threaten me that she would either harm me or harm herself and I should be in relationship with her. Trust me, guys, it's not as good as you think to have someone who is obsessed with you, because it suffocates the life out of you. And I had to fly out of the country without letting her know just to break up with her. And I had a friend let her know that I want to break up, because I knew if I got on call with her and she figured out what my number is, she would just ruin my life. Because there was a time when I asked her that, okay, we should end this relationship. It's not working out for you. I do not want to hurt you. And I think this relationship is not good enough for us. And in one single night, for approximately within just 8 hours, she called me 138 times. By the time I woke up in the morning, my smartphone was out of battery and the battery was messed up. Trust me, guys, 138 missed calls. That is downright absurd. So I had to leave the country just to break up with her, and I had to hide where I was. My location needed to be a secret. I was undercover. I felt like I'm James Bond. I cannot let anyone know where I am, because if she figured it out, she would just show up and create chaos. That's when I realized that having someone obsessed with you is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. I would rather prefer being single for the rest of my life than to have someone who is so obsessed with me or so possessive about me. And that's when I realized whatever we feel inside is what we attract. So I went back inside my subconscious mind and I realized there is a sweet spot between lack of self-worth and being self-obsessed, which is self-love. Self-love is very important. When you are at the emotional state of self-love consistently, you will attract people who love you, who are not obsessed with you, and who wouldn't abandon you. They would just love you. So I went inside my subconscious mind and I reprogrammed my subconscious mind to feel this self-love. That changed my behavior, that changed my vibration, if you would like to believe that. And I slowly started to attract people who started loving me. And the breakup that I had at the beginning of the story, the ex who kind of abandoned me, she also came back into my life, and I realized that whatever we feel inside is what we attract. We manifest that into our reality. And the secret to attracting love into our life is to get inside our subconscious mind and remove the childhood conditioning that we were subject to because of our father and mother. By removing the father wound and the mother wound, we balance our emotions. And the moment we balance our emotions, we end up attracting healthy, balanced relationship into our life. Now, that whole experience taught me how our subconscious mind works. I call that my scientific research because I wanted to experience what happens if we start messing with our subconscious mind and changing our emotional state. But it became such a big milestone for me because I realized that we can manifest whatever we truly desire. And that's how I came up with my high value love identity program. And a few of my clients who didn't listen to me, by the way, but they learned it the hard way because they were like, how about we make someone obsessed with us or our ex obsessed with me? And they tried it. Guess what? All of them sooner or later came back to me and they were like, we now understand what you were talking about. It's horrible. It's miserable. I want to get out of it. And I had to help them once again to get out of that toxic relationship. So even in the movie, if you observe, obsession never ends in a happy way. So I would highly recommend to you guys, understand what you attract in relationship is based upon what you're feeling inside. Even in the movie, if you observe, the guy had that lack of self-worth and self-confidence. That is the reason that he desired to have someone downright obsessed with him. It is only the lack of self-confidence and self-worth that makes us desire someone who is obsessed with us. But once we attract someone who is obsessed with us, that's when we realize that obsession is not good. We would rather be single than to be with someone who's obsessed. So the lesson that I want you guys to understand is you can attract healthy, committed relationship into your life if you remove your father wound, your mother wound, your childhood conditioning about your self-worth, your self-confidence and self-love. And once you balance these emotions in your subconscious mind will then attract people into your life who can resonate with this new emotional identity. This emotional identity attracts healthy, committed, long-term, sustainable relationship. And that's what I have been helping people achieve with my high value love identity program. So it is proven, it works. And I hope that my experience teaches you guys, never ever try to attract someone who is obsessed with you, because that will not end up in a good way for you. Leave your opinions in the comments and do share if you have been through any kind of experience like that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Up until then, stay happy, stay blessed, and remember the power of your subconscious mind. Bye-bye.